Hey everyone, and welcome back to Love Island Archives, your number one destination for everything happening inside and outside the villa. I'm your host Brian, and today's episode is packed with breaking developments, behind the scenes, insights, and some major shake-ups just days before the premiere of Love Island's 12th summer series. Now imagine this: you're counting down the days to entering the iconic Love Island villa in sunny Mallorca. You've got your bikinis packed, the contract's signed, the hype is real, and then, at the last minute, everything falls apart. That's the reality Kyle Ashman is facing right now, and his story is one that has left fans shocked, producers scrambling, and the tabloids on overdrive. So buckle up, Islanders. We're diving deep into the full story of why Kyle Ashman was dramatically axed from this year's Love Island lineup just days before launch night. Let's rewind just a bit to the excitement of early June. ITV had just revealed the official lineup for Love Island 2025. Among the bright-eyed hopefuls was 23-year-old Kyle Ashman from Stafford, a water network operative ready to swap pipe systems for poolside chats. Kyle's promo shots had already made it into official press kits. He was slated to enter the villa alongside a diverse cast of contestants from all walks of life: athletes, flight attendants, performers, and influencers. His appearance marked another step in ITV's ongoing effort to cast real people with real jobs, adding depth and relatability to the show. But behind that beaming smile and those carefully edited interviews, there was a storm brewing, one that producers didn't see coming. Just days after the lineup was revealed, news broke that would send shockwaves through ITV headquarters. According to an exclusive report from The Sun, Kyle Ashman had been arrested earlier this year in connection with a violent machete attack that took place during a wake in Stafford. Yes, you heard that right, a machete attack. The incident, which occurred in February, reportedly left several people injured. One man sustained what sources described as potentially life-altering injuries to his arm. Others were attacked with various objects, including a metal pole, broken glass, and even a car. As gruesome and surreal as it sounds, this was no minor scuffle. It was a serious incident that had already drawn the attention of law enforcement, and now it was threatening to derail ITV's flagship summer series. To be clear, Kyle Ashman has not been charged with any crime. Following his arrest, he was released without charge, and he has since maintained his innocence in no uncertain terms. In a personal statement following the media reports, Kyle said, and I quote, "I fully cooperated with this police investigation and made it very clear that I had no involvement in this incident. I am not a violent person, and any suggestion otherwise is a mischaracterization." That statement came as part of a growing backlash to the coverage, with some supporters arguing that Kyle was being unfairly punished despite not being charged or convicted of anything. Still, the damage was done. And in a world where public image is everything, especially for a reality show watched by millions, ITV had to make a call. ITV issued a short but definitive statement. For personal reasons, Kyle will not be entering the Love Island villa as planned. It was a carefully worded response, lacking the usual reality show drama, but make no mistake, the message was clear. Kyle was out. What's important here is the timeline. According to Deadline, no contestants had entered the villa at the time ITV made its decision. That meant the show's tight filming schedule could continue uninterrupted, and no edits had to be made to in-villa footage. Crisis averted, at least on paper. Sources close to production say ITV was unaware of Kyle's arrest when they initially approved him for the show. The news, they say, was brought to the network's attention by The Sun just days after the cast was announced. At that point, the network scrambled to verify the information and hold internal discussions. With the show's reputation and Ofcom breathing down its neck, they simply couldn't take the risk. The decision to remove Kyle was swift and final. Now, it's worth noting, background checks for reality contestants are supposed to be thorough. So how did this slip through the cracks? Well, that's the question a lot of fans and even some insiders are asking. And it's one we're going to explore later in this episode. Kyle Ashman's removal left a noticeable gap in the cast lineup. But ITV, ever the seasoned producer of Damage Control, didn't miss a beat. They moved forward with the show's June 9th premiere, confident in the strength of the remaining contestants. This year's lineup still includes Dejon Noel Williams, the 26-year-old son of footballer Gifton Noel Williams, Helena, a 29-year-old flight attendant, Megan, a 24-year-old performer, and Harry, a 30-year-old semi-pro footballer, just to name a few. And of course, Maya Jama returns as host for her 4th season, continuing her reign as the Queen of Love Island with signature style and sass. Let's talk about the vetting process, something that's become increasingly critical for Love Island after past scandals and tragedies. In recent years, ITV has tightened its duty of care protocols. These now include mental health screenings, social media audits, and full criminal background checks. But Kyle's situation raises a tough question. What happens when someone is arrested but not charged? Technically, a person released without charge does not have a criminal record. That can make such incidents harder to flag during a background check. Unless the applicant discloses it themselves, there's a chance it might not show up at all. That seems to be exactly what happened here. ITV didn't know until the tabloids told them. As with any Love Island drama, public opinion is divided. Some fans applauded ITV for taking swift action. Others expressed sympathy for Kyle, pointing out that he hasn't been convicted of anything and may now face lasting damage to his reputation. One viral tweet read, "Imagine getting kicked off Love Island over something you didn't do. That's brutal." But others pushed back, saying the show had to prioritise the safety and perception of the cast, especially with recent seasons facing increased scrutiny. Ultimately, it's a lose-lose situation. ITV was forced to make a decision with limited time and a lot of pressure, and Kyle, regardless of innocence, is now left dealing with the fallout. Since his removal, Kyle has remained mostly silent on social media, perhaps on legal advice. But his statement reiterating his innocence has left many wondering whether we'll see a longer-form interview or even legal action down the line. He wrote, "I am not a violent person." That's a powerful claim, and one that suggests Kyle may not be done telling his side of the story. Will he eventually appear on a podcast, tell-all interview, or even another reality show? Only time will tell. If you're a future Love Island applicant watching this, consider this your wake-up call. The spotlight is brighter than ever, and the smallest misstep can turn into a tabloid headline. Whether or not Kyle Ashman's arrest should have disqualified him from Love Island, the reality is that the court of public opinions can be just as influential as the legal system. The takeaway: full transparency, disclosure, and a recognition that when you step into the villa, you're not just dating, you're becoming public property. Despite the shake-up, ITV has remained steady in its promotion of the summer 2025 series. Trailers featuring Maya Jama teasing more twists, more drama and more surprises than ever before are running across socials, and fan excitement is still high. The villa is ready, the islanders are set, and even though one contestant has exited before he entered, the show as always must go on. So there you have it, the full story of how Kyle Ashman was dropped from Love Island just days before the premiere, the questions it raises about casting and vetting, and what it all means for the series ahead. Was ITV right to remove him? Should Kyle have disclosed more? Should the arrest have even mattered, given he was released without charge? Let us know what you think in the comments below. And don't forget, the villa doors swing open on Monday, June 9th. We'll be here every step of the way, breaking down the drama, the bombshells, and the romance as it all unfolds. Until next time, I'm Brian, and this has been Love Island Archives.